Hey guys, it's Joni from Fox and Socks. Today we're going to be working on the body of the fox, like the reddish, brownish, orangish color of the fox. And I've got my paints here. We've got Genesis Red, Yellow, and O2. Yeah, I've got quite a bit of a mess going here, but we're going to go ahead and get it set up. I'm going to be making quite a bit of it since it goes on all the pieces of the fox. I'll go ahead and start with yellow. We're supposed to have more yellow than orange. They say 2 equal parts of yellow and 1 equal part of red. Stop. Sorry, my dogs are trying to play. So I need quite a bit of yellow. I'll grab some nice pretty color now. I've still got some paint left over from the red creasing. That's why it's kind of got a little bit of a reddish tint to the yellow. Alright, so there's quite a bit of yellow. I don't want as much red, so we're just going to do a little dabbies at a time until I get the orange color that I want. Okay, so it's definitely going to be more yellow than red. Oh, pretty yellow, like a sunset yellow. Okay, so that's a little bit more what I want. A little bit more. Okay, so it should be like a really pretty warmer orange. Should look a little bit more red than actual. Like if we did a straight orange, it would have been equal parts yellow and equal parts red. But this is going to be on, it does look kind of reddish, but it's still a little bit more on the yellowy side. So I would say a yellow orange. And now we're going to use the dark brown. And we're going to make it even warmer. And I want it darker brown than that. So I'm just using the darkest brown I have, and that's the O2. I'm trying to get it stirred up. Whoa, I'm making a mess. I'm trying to get it stirred up a little better. Now you can add burnt umber if you want. Now the technical term for the color that we're going for is burnt sienna. So if you actually have burnt sienna, I would just use that because I think Genesis may make it, but you may need to add red to your burnt sienna to make it the color that I'm talking about. I need more. Oh, lots more. Okay. Okay, so it's a prettyish brownish orangey color. Add just a little bit more red to it. I'm tweaking it a little so that it matches the color I want. So it's kind of an orangey brown. That's the color we're going for. Now I want to add the thick so it's creamy like butter. I'm going to start out with a smaller blob, but it's a pretty good sized blob. Teaspoon, maybe a little less, maybe 2/3 of a teaspoon of this, maybe a little less than that. Quarter size glob if you're going by my standards. Instead of teaspoons, I say like change. Dime size, nickel size, quarter size, $50. Ooh, this is definitely more like a quarter. And there's a load in the wash, so it's unbalanced evidently. If it didn't stop here pretty quick, I may have to fix that. Ooh, the thing about this stick I don't like is it takes forever to get stirred up. Now I could have done this off camera and then you guys would have been like, how did you mix that? So I definitely wanted to show you what colors I used, and yeah. In case you guys are wondering, I googled it because I wanted to make sure I got the right color. So I googled what colors to make an orange fox, and this is what came up. So we're gonna use this, and then I can add like actual shades of red to it too. I mean, we don't want a flat color. We're gonna add washes to this to give it a little bit more dimension, but this to start with is a good thing. And you'll probably hear my cats growling in the background. I am pet sitting my daughter's cats and dogs, and they don't always get along with mine, so I can hear them growling in the back. We got a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, so you can see it's a little thick, but it's not super thick. It runs quite a bit. And that's the way we want it. Okay, looky there. Guys, that helps. Kind of an orangey brown. It's really pretty. I might get. Okay, and I'm going to put this up. Ooh. Clean up my area just a little bit anyway. Now you'll want to have sponges ready, whether you use the big round ones or the little wedges like what I have. So you're going to want plenty of those. Several here. I probably could use a couple more. I didn't realize there wasn't very many here. Give me just a second. I've got them. I've got them put away over here. I'm not super organized. At least I know who most of my stuff is. Okay. I get my wedges from Walgreens. You can get them from most beauty supply places or makeup places. Woohoo! Oh man, animals are crazy. I don't want that one. I'm gonna use these as much as I can because you got to save your supplies. Try not to waste anything. Glasses would be good. Okay, we're going to start with her little head, and I'm going to get a smaller brush as well so I can have control. So I can have control over the area that I'm trying to paint. I know I have smaller brushes. Get my brush. We have a lot of brushes here. Every time I go to the makeup place, I try to get brushes because, there we go, because I know I go through them pretty quick. So this is one I got from, I don't know, it just says nail art brush. I don't remember where I got it. I think one of my friends gave it to me maybe. But, yeah, it's a smaller one. Alright, now with the fox, we're going to do across her nose. I'm going to go ahead and do the complete nose because this nose is actually going to be a dark brown whenever I get done. So it's okay to paint it a darker color. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay. And okay, so what I'm doing is making the stripe right up the nose. I'm going to pounce that off. And what that's going to do is make a very light coat. I try to stay as controlled as I can. I want to blend. And you get another brush. This is a little wee one. I'm going to pull it out of those creases because I don't want it clumping up. So same brand, just smaller. And yes, it's going to take many, many coats, so don't get discouraged just yet. That is coming loose, so there's nothing I can do about it. Alright, here we go. We're gonna do right across here. I'm going to do the eyes. Oof. That black handled brush is getting paint on me. Paint from the brush, the actual handle, brush handle. Okay. Pounce, pounce, pounce. We want it blended, don't waste. Use the whole sponge. Gonna hit all those creases. I don't want the paint pooling in there. Wiping the brush off, so I want the brush dry. Try to keep the same amount of paint that you spread on the face onto the rest of the baby. Little bits at a time, so you're not racing against the clock. See, this is the reason why I prefer the heat set, because you have more time to pounce on it than say you would air dry. With air dry, do the whole thing and then pounce everything together. Okay, I'm going to paint the outside of the ear, back of the head, and part of the neck. Like that. I am not going to go inside the ear, so I want that pink. The really good thing about those gigantic sponges is you have more room, more surface area to pounce. Gonna do the same on this side. Spread it as evenly as possible. Avoid the inside of the ear. And I'm only going to go part way on his neck area. I'm going to go in front over that ear. Trying to get it blended as well as possible. Be really careful when you go around the ears. You don't want to wipe all the paint away. You just kind of want to dab at it. So you get a nice blend. The reason you want it runny is so that it'll spread out evenly when you pounce. If it's too dry, then it will, I don't know what the word is for, it won't blend and pounce evenly. And yes, there's probably going to be about 2 or 3 at least layers on this to get it to show right. Just a second, Eva. I got a puppy that wants to go outside. So let me get this baby. When I'm changing out my sponge often, I want to make sure I get everything blended. My cat, sorry. We got I'm just going to go back over it. My fingers are getting stuck on the neck hole. Okay, it's not super awesome. I'm sure it shows up a little better on camera, but basically you want to pounce to get it as even as possible. Now I'm leaving part of her face light because I want to put a white. I'll make that white on her face and down a little bit on her neck. I'm just hitting those spots that did not pounce very well. I'm going to make sure I get them as blended as I can. And I know that that crease video, the first one I did, didn't show very well on actually doing the creases. So I do apologize. I didn't realize I was off camera. So I'll have to be more careful whenever I do creases from now on. Okay, there's the head. I need to let my dogs out and I'll be right back, guys, and we'll do arms and legs. You guys want to go outside? All right, come on. I think it's gonna rain. All overcast and creepy outside. Yeah, I'm just gonna grab a leg. Start there. Okay. So there's no white on the leg. The leg itself is actually going to be a darker brown here and then the reddish color up here. But I'm doing everything because the reddish layer underneath the brown is going to actually help make it darker. And because we are dealing with little spots, we're going to stir this up a little. I'm going to be using a more controlled, so everything. Try not to leave excess paint in the creasing if you can help it. Didn't get that little spot right there blended very well when I did creasing last time. So you may be able to see it there. And I'm doing the claws because the claws are going to be dark anyway, so. And try to keep consistency with the amount that you put on it, so you don't end up with darker spots. So you don't end up with like a darker leg than the other. You definitely want to make sure you're putting on pretty much the same amount of paint throughout the limbs, so when you pounce it off you still have the same amount of hair, or as close to the same amount as possible. Hit those creases. Trying to get as blended as well as possible. I don't know if you guys can see a big difference, but I can. And you should see the difference on your baby too. Well, that was dumb, wasn't it? Careful with your paint. Okay. I'm gonna hit these again just to make sure. I don't like it when the paint pulls up and the creases look dirty. This brown leaves pigments behind because it's so concentrated that the paint itself, it just doesn't mix up as well as some of the other paints. Okay. Now I'm doing the whole leg, so I got the basic there. Get as blended as you can, and then you have to be really careful about like the backs of the knees and creasing and stuff like behind the ears, because it if you're not too careful, it leaves a buildup. You want to definitely make sure you get that blended well. You can see I'm pouncing around, and it's actually pouncing the paint and spreading it out over the leg, so I'm not painting the entire leg all at once. Let's see here. Really pounce, especially where the paint meets. Like you saw where I stopped and then I started again. Really pounce that out. Oops. Got a little zestful there. And you might say, ew. Notice I'm not going, like, pulling it completely out. I am kind of spurting it. I'm bouncing again. This leads to, like, swirls and stuff. So I definitely want to make sure I'm getting as even as I can. And I keep bumping the leg into stuff, so be careful. You guys see that? This is where the bigger sponges come in handy. And if you need to add more thinner to kind of make it spread a little better, just go little teeny bits at a time, like drops. I gotta lift this up because I keep bumping into stuff and I don't want to. Now it'll leave kind of a weird, once it dries, it's going to look kind of, I don't know how to explain it. I'm going to say powdery. It's going to look powdery. It's not actually powdery, but it's got kind of a chalky, powdery look. Once it's dry, and again, good grief. I gotta be more careful. Just a little bit there and a little bit there to kind of make up for it. Because I went a little crazy. Don't add to it like I just did. I did that because if I wiped to get that accidental off, it would wipe off the paint that's already there. So don't add. Just trying to make up for what I did. Alright, here is the other leg. So as you can see, there is a little bit of a difference. There we go. It's not so washed out now. Try not to get your finger in it. Okay. This is probably going to be a long video, so be prepared. consistency is key, so remember what I said about putting about the same amount on all the limbs and the head. Trying to keep my fingers out of it, guys. Pull out the creases. Go over it a couple of times if you need to. Make sure you've got it all pounced. Kind of comparing it to the other one. Try to use the same amount of pressure when you're pouncing as well. This is the same technique I use for ethnic babies as well. Blend, blend, blend. The other creases I wanted were not as deep, so I'm okay. Try to relax your hand when you're pouncing. If you need another sponge, grab one. Because you want it blended nicely, and if the sponge gets too much paint on there, it's not going to do that for you. Go all the way to the edge. Do your very best to stay consistent. Try to get everything the same. Now, you're not going to be perfect at this, so don't expect, 100% perfect. But do pay attention, details matter. Once this dries, we're going to bake it. Like that. Hang on a second, guys. Once this dries, we're going to bake it just like normal. If your oven's not been used in a while, then do 11 minutes at 260 or 265, whichever you prefer. Okay. A little bit of a difference. Be careful when you set it up. Try not to smooch it. Smooch. Okay. I go through these pretty quick. I can use something again. Yep. You guys may be wondering, hey, this is so cool. I wonder how many times you've made one before. And the answer to that is I have never made one before. But I have learned how to, I don't need that one. I've learned how to layer paints over the years. And I've also worked on what paints mixed together and layered together make what, like how it would look when you put one paint on top of the other. So my expertise is free. And I do not claim to know everything, but what I do know, I will share with you gladly. Notice I'm checking the claws, and I'm going over everything, all the creases. I'm going over everything because I want to make sure I get it pounced off and everything looks pretty consistent. And no pooling paint, because that doesn't look good after it's dried. All this stuff starts to dry fairly quick, even the heat sets, so stay calm, but do work at a steady pace. So you want to make sure it's blending well. And if you feel like it needs more paint on one spot, use one that's already been wet really well. And that kind of adds a little bit of paint to it without having to worry about getting it super dark in one spot. See what I did? Okay. I'm gonna have to let my dog's hair in just a few minutes, so after I get this arm, we're gonna take a break, a very small one, and then we'll pick up again. And I'm not stopping the camera, so you guys will have a minute to catch up if you need to. Trying to blend it into what I've already done. Oops, all the way to the edge. Whoa, what am I doing? Get away from me. I'm going back over what I just did, but I'm also using the fresh paint on top of what I just did, so that it will blend. It's kind of like makeup, so it'll blend a little easier. Okay, now you might say, wait a minute. Okay. Let's see, this will work okay. All the way to the flange, guys. Oh, I'm gonna drop it. Ooh. Ooh. I'm using my case knife, so I have something to hang on to. It's a little easier. Butter knife, case knife, whatever you want to call it. Just makes it a little handier. Oh, try not to get your fingers out, guys. Okay. I'm pretty happy with it. Alright, let me go bring in my dogs. I'm going to give you guys just a couple of minutes, maybe a minute or two, to try to get caught up. And I'll be back in just a few minutes. Letting my doggos. It's starting to rain outside. I'm wiping feet. Yeah, look at the feet. Oh my goodness. Alright, go. Started raining. Just sprinkling a little bit, and I wanted to make sure they were inside. And then their feetsies got dirty, so white feets. Okay, hang on, let me let my daughter's dogs out. I'm sure you guys are still working. Guys, it smells awesome outside. It's raining and it's got that beautiful earthy smell. And I'm babysitting my daughter's dogs as well. I've got 4 of them that I'm taking in and out. No, hey, back up. Back up. No. Over there. Okay, sit. Ooh, that was a mess. Come on, Andy. Oh my goodness. Hey, come here. All right, you. No, back up. Sit. Sit. Ooh, I think we're done. Go down. Oh my goodness. Crazy. She didn't want to come back in. It's so nice outside. Even though it's raining, it's really nice. Alright, let's see here. One more part to go. We can do it, can't we, guys? We can do it. I hope that was enough time for you guys to catch up. If not, just stop the video and finish. Okay, again, consistency is key. And if you ever feel rushed, just take a deep breath. Ooh, grouchy dogs. Just take a deep breath. And then keep going. Take your time, but go at a steady pace. That's what I'm trying to say. And try not to get your fingers on stuff. If these videos are helping you guys at all, let me know in the comments. And I am going to be making one more short about the free kit draw, and that one will be the one I want everybody to sign up on. The other one was just a teaser. Oops, let's do this one instead. Make sure you pounced everything and you've gone over the little creasing again. See that? See what I missed? That was stunk. You get too much of a hurry, you end up with shoddy work. No shoddy work from you. Details matter. And if you're like me, you gotta learn everything. The need to learn is strong with that one. What? See, my dogs agree. I'm looking for the least wet sponge. Hey, girls. It's raining, so they're full of it right now. These little butter knives are awful handy. Folding this in half will give it a little bit more of a control pounce. Okay. Don't forget your crease house. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Okay. Guys, we're almost done. Are you excited to do one more layer? I will be uploading the 2 layers that we're going to be doing at the same time. Ew, who is that? It may have been that thing that was left over from the last time. Let's see. Oops. Methodical. That's the word I'm looking for. Be methodical. Some of these little dots are left over from something else. I don't remember. So it could be like little freckles, I guess, technically. I mean, we are talking a fantasy animal thingy, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It could be, like Bob Ross says, a happy little accident. Ooh, my fingers are getting sore from holding this knife. Oh, let me know in the comments if you are working on your little wear puppy too. I'm also curious to know, almost done, if you guys are going to follow along with this video or if you are going to make your little wear puppy a different color. Okay. So, let it dry completely. Completely dry. And then we'll stick it in the oven for 260 or 265. If your oven hasn't been running a little while, do it for 11 minutes. If it has been running consistency, do it for 9 minutes. And I want to say it's 125 or 130 for Celsius. Do not quote me on that because my math is not that great. But anyway, same amount of time. And I hope you guys are liking this series so far. Alright, be back later. Thanks, guys.